All right, folks, buckle up because today we're taking a trip back in time. Imagine North America thousands of years ago, megafauna, Roman-free. But we're not talking about your friendly neighborhood squirrels here. Think mammoths, giant sloths, dire wolves, the whole prehistoric shebang. And holding the leash on this wild kingdom, the American lion.
Talk about an apex predator.
This wasn't your grandma's tabby cat, was it?
Not unless your grandma had a taste for megafauna. Even scientists were initially stumped. Lion, jaguar, something completely off the charts. The mystery had them scratching their heads.
It all sounds like a wild goose chase just to figure out what this thing actually was.
And that's where the real detective work began.
Yeah.
Mitochondrial DNA held the key.
Mitochondrial DNA. Sounds a little technical for this time of day, don't you think?
Basically, think of it like inheriting your mom's sense of rhythm, but on a genetic level. It's passed down from mother to offspring. By comparing it across species, we get a glimpse into their family tree. Who's related to whom, how far back those connections go. It's like a genetic time machine.
So what did this time machine reveal about our American lion's family reunion?
Turns out, they're chummy with the Eurasian cave lion. You know those European heartthrobs immortalized in cave paintings?
Getting all the lionesses, I bet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. They were closer to our modern African lions than we originally thought.
So the kings and queens of the savannah today share a branch on the family tree with this North American behemoth. That's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing is an understatement. But there's still some squabbling about whether they're distinct species or just really, really close cousins. Subspecies, they call it.
Science always keeping it interesting. But species or subspecies? One thing's for sure, this cat wasn't messing around. What's the lowdown on size?
Imagine a tiger. Already an impressive specimen, right? Now, supersize it. We're talking up to 2.5 meters long. That's like, what, 8 feet? Shoulder height, 1.2 meters, and tipping the scales at a hefty tiger weight.
Okay, I'm officially intimidated.
And just like modern lions, the males like to show off. Bigger than the females, a bit of a look-at-me strategy. Sexual dimorphism, they call it.
So it's not just the guys at the gym peacocking. So we got the mega size down. But what did these majestic beasts actually rock? Main event happening, or something completely different?
Now that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
No perfectly preserved American lion has decided to show itself yet, but we've got hints.
Don't leave us hanging.
Their Eurasian cousins, the ones with the cave paintings, had a yellowish coat. And those paintings, they suggest the males might have had smaller manes than today's heartthrobs.
A smaller mane, huh? Interesting. So where did these golden gods of the Pleistocene hang out? Coast to coast?
Well, their name might be a bit misleading. Think Alberta, Canada, all the way down to southern Mexico. Mostly in the west, though.
Wait, a lion in Alaska? Talk about a change of scenery from the African savanna. Were they just built for the cold?
You bet. Adaptable as heck, thriving in all sorts of environments. There's even evidence suggesting they might have borrowed a page from the Siberian tiger playbook using caves for shelter.
Now that's a mental image. A giant yellowish lion, maybe with a bit of a mane, roaming the frozen landscapes of prehistoric Alaska. Talk about metal. But let's get down to brass tacks. What was on the menu for a predator this size? Was it all megafauna all the time?
You know it. To get that big, you gotta eat big. And luckily, the Pleistocene buffet was all-you-can-eat megafauna.
So what were these lions chowing down on? Give us the prehistoric scoop.
Picture this. Horses, camels, bison. Even mammoths and giant sloths weren't off the table.
Hold up. Taking down a mammoth? That's like trying to wrestle a double-decker bus, even for a lion that size. Were they ganging up on these behemoths like modern lions do in prides?
The million-dollar question. While we don't have a pride parade on record, there are some intriguing hints.
They do keep us in suspense.
Well, you know those La Brea tar pits.
Fossil jackpot.
Exactly. They've coughed up a disproportionate number of young American lion fossils. One theory suggests these youngsters, maybe inexperienced males kicked out of the pride, were out to prove themselves, taking bigger risks. And bigger risks often mean stickier situations, especially around tar pits.
So a bit like teenagers trying to impress their friends, ending up in all sorts of predicaments.
Precisely. And to add fuel to the fire, those cave paintings of their Eurasian cousins often show them hunting in packs. It's not a far cry to imagine our American lion operating with similar social strategies.
Teamwork makes the dream work, even in the Pleistocene. Speaking of La Brea, you'd think with all those fossils, American lions would be as common as, well, fossils. But that's not quite the case.
Strangely enough, no. Compared to celebrities like dire wolves and saber-toothed cats, American lion remains are surprisingly rare at La Brea.
Really? Why is that? Were they too clever to fall for the tar pit trap?
That's one theory. They might have been playing 4D chess while others were playing checkers. A certain level of awareness that might have given them a leg up in the survival game.
Brainy and brawny, these lions really were something else. But even the smartest predator appreciates an easy meal, right? Were they above scavenging?
Hey, a meal's a meal, right? While they were top-tier hunters, they weren't afraid to scavenge a carcass when the opportunity presented itself. They probably even butted head with other big names like dire wolves and saber-toothed cats for those prime scavenging spots.
Now that's a prehistoric showdown I'd pay to see. Talk about a clash of the titans.
A spectacle for the ages. But, as we know, even the most dominant creatures can meet their match. And in the case of the American lion, that match came in the form of extinction.
It's hard to imagine something so powerful just vanishing. What happened? Did they hit the evolutionary dead end, or was it a longer goodbye?
Around 12,000 years ago, they vanished. Part of that massive extinction event that swept through North America at the end of the Pleistocene. A real head-scratcher, but the clues tell a story.
So what's the verdict? One culprit or a whole conspiracy?
Our sources point to two biggies: climate change and, surprise, surprise, us, humans. Let's start with the climate. Imagine coming out of an ice age. Temperatures yo-yoing, ecosystems rearranging themselves.
Talk about a bad hair day for the planet.
Exactly. And for a mega predator like the American lion, used to a certain lifestyle, a certain menu, well, change isn't always a good thing, is it?
So you're saying their all-you-can-eat megafauna buffet started shrinking?
You got it. Resources become scarce, hunting grounds change, not a recipe for success. But that's not all. Here comes the human factor. Right around then, we had folks strolling across the Bering Land Bridge, entering North America.
Talk about bad timing. Just when the American lion's world is doing a switcheroo, a new, very capable predator shows up.
And these weren't just any hunters, these early Americans, oh no. They brought new skills, new tools, they were the real deal.
So not exactly a warm welcome for the American lion.
Competition's tough, right?
Yeah.
Especially when resources are already dwindling. Even if humans weren't specifically targeting American lions, their mere presence, their impact on the ecosystem, especially those mega herbivores the lions depended on, that could have been the final straw.
It's like a delicate Jenga tower. You pull out the wrong block in this case, those mega herbivores, the whole thing collapses.
Right on. A trophic cascade, that's what we call it. One change ripples through the whole system. And for the American lion, it was likely a perfect storm. Climate change shrinking their world, humans changing the game entirely. A complex puzzle with no easy answers.
A puzzle we're still trying to solve, but isn't that part of the allure, the mystery? And speaking of mysteries, is there even a sliver of a chance, a whisper, that the American lion didn't go extinct? That somewhere, hidden away, a pocket of them survived?
Well, I wouldn't be holding my breath, but it's a thought that gets the imagination going. I mean, these guys, they were the ultimate survivors, right? Adapted to all sorts of crazy environments. Who's to say a small group tucked away somewhere didn't find a way, maybe evolved in ways we haven't even dreamed of?
Okay, so maybe not quite Bigfoot, but still, a tantalizing thought. It's amazing how these extinct creatures still hold such power over us, don't you think?
Absolutely. They might be gone, but their story isn't over. The American lion is a reminder of just how incredible life on Earth used to be, how interconnected everything is, and let's face it, how big of an impact we humans can have.
No doubt about that. The more we learn about these ancient animals, the more we learn about ourselves, too.
Right.
Where we fit in the grand scheme of things. And maybe, just maybe, learn from the past. Extinction's not some abstract idea, it's a real threat even today. We've got a responsibility to protect what we still have.
I couldn't agree more. Understanding how the American lion went extinct, it's not just ancient history. It gives us a glimpse into the challenges ecosystems face today. Reminds us how important conservation is. Protecting those species teetering on the brink.
Well said. It's a serious topic, for sure. But it's also a call to action. The American lion's story might be a cautionary tale, but it also shows us just how resilient life can be, and how powerful knowledge and conservation can be when we actually use them.
Couldn't put it better myself.
Well, folks, that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of the American lion. Big thanks to our expert for walking us through the fossil record, the theories, the mysteries. It's been an adventure.
My pleasure. Always love a good trip through the past.
And for our listeners, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got links, pictures, the whole 9 yards. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing, keep asking those questions, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.